Hello, I'm Dr. Joe. Welcome back to my kitchen table chat. Today we're going to talk about symptoms of yeast infection in men. And you know, the symptoms may not be obvious at first. You may not link them to a problem with yeast infection. Sometimes the most obvious yeast or fungus type of infection in men is the persistent jock itch in the groin area, or athlete's foot, or even fungal infection of the toenails. We have associated those with yeast or fungal problems. And yeast and fungus are kind of in the same class of organisms. A lot of times these yeast infection symptoms come on after treatment with repeated courses of antibiotics. Sometimes for acne, sometimes for prostatitis, that inflammation in the prostate gland, or for chronic sinusitis or other tough infectious problems. Unfortunately, the antibiotics kill off a lot of organisms besides the ones you want to get rid of. And in that process, they kill off your normal friendly organisms that keep the yeast in check. So then the yeast are free to grow a lot. And since they're primarily in the gastrointestinal tract or in the respiratory tract, you wind up with a lot of digestive problems. You start to wonder why you're getting all that gas. It's kind of embarrassing, you know. Or you may even have abdominal pain or a lot of abdominal bloating. And then sometimes the bowels start dysfunctioning. Maybe you have constipation one day and diarrhea the next, and that just doesn't make sense, does it? But that's because things are out of balance in your gastrointestinal tract. So when we see a lot of gastrointestinal disturbance, yeast is one of the things we think about. And unfortunately, the yeast make us crave the things they like to grow on. So you may find yourself craving a lot of sweets, or even alcohol, or beer, or bread, because sweets feed the yeast. The bread contains yeast, but it also contains a lot of carbohydrates the yeast like to grow on too. And then the beer and alcohol are generally fermented by yeast, or some similar type of organism. Well, with all this dysfunction going on in the body now, you may even develop sensitivities to foods. They're not obvious a lot of times. Food allergies or food sensitivities are often hidden, and you have to do some work to figure out which foods you're reacting to. You know, even foods you've eaten all your life, you may find your body doesn't like anymore. Bread is one of the common ones that people react to, but there can be other things, even like eggs, soy, yeast. Those are just common allergens. Or you may find you're having more trouble with allergies to things in the air, to pollens or weeds or mold. Again, you may have to get some help dealing with those allergies. But you know what? If you can get the yeast under control, a lot of times the food allergies reverse themselves, and the inhalant allergies reverse themselves. The longer you seem to have the yeast problem, the more it disrupts your body, and you may even find things like fatigue, depression, and unusual nervous system symptoms will come up. And would you ever think those are related to yeast? But they can be. You may find that you feel worse on damp days. That's usually because of a mold sensitivity problem. You have so much yeast overgrowth in your body that your body cannot handle other yeast or molds in the environment, and it just starts reacting to them. Maybe mold makes you feel sleepy or tired, or just foggy-headed. And then the next step sometimes is just to feel bad around any chemicals, even the like colognes or the fragrance in hairspray. Men do wear that some, I know. Or in shampoo, and tobacco smoke. You may feel really bad around tobacco smoke. That's all an indication that you're not handling any even minute amount of chemicals in your environment. So if those symptoms are plaguing you, or you know someone that may be bothered by them, maybe some of your guy friends, you've seen them kind of go downhill in their joy for life, and they seem to have all these strange symptoms, well, you just might suspect a yeast overgrowth problem. The good news is that you can turn that yeast overgrowth around. All you have to do is find out how to kick those little critters out of your body, and how to eat and nourish yourself and enter into lifestyle activities that are healthy for your body, and your body will heal. So I'm sure you're going to want more information about this. We can't present everything in one short video, but there are many resources you can look into and get back to that zest for life that you'd love to have again.